Welcome. Welcome to the show. I don't know why that screen's there. There it is. That was my good wife. Oh, she wants to be on, I guess. Okay. I don't have all the controls, it seems like, tonight. So we are ready for a proper debate tonight. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Vern Houle. I'm from Edmonton, Alberta. And we thought we'd run a couple of episodes of Face to Face before we do our on-the-road protest. Now, that's what we're planning. We're planning an on-the-road protest all across Canada. We plan to hit all the a bunch of major cities anyways. So we'll let you guys know on the road. We're going to take our lives, all our programs on the road with us. And we're going to be sleeping out of the back of our truck and making this a lot of fun. It's camping season here in Canada in the summer, so that's when all these summer assemblies are. And I used to, when I did these summer assemblies, we used to camp sometimes to save money. The hotels were so expensive, so we ended up buying a camper when we were raising a young family, and we'd book these campsites, and they were hard to book too in the cities around assembly time, because a lot of the friends at the assembly, and we'll call them friends because they're our friends, you know, the people at the assemblies, the Watchtower, the Jehovah's Witness, most of them, a lot of them are our friends, right? I would hope so. I don't hate anybody over leaving. I just walked away. What we do on this channel is really expose what's going on with the governing body. Now, the governing body is the ones that we feel are behind everything. The Jehovah's Witnesses are just friends. They're people, just like you and me, and they pray. And actually, Jehovah's Witnesses, for the most part, are very good people. And so that's when we go on the road. It's not a protest, not at all. It's a welcome in ExJWs or JWs friends. That's what it is. ExJW friends. You know, if you want to leave, if you decide you want to do higher education and you figure you might have to get a new set of friends for a bit till you're done university, we're here. We're here for you. If you decide that you don't want to take a blood transfusion, or you want to take a blood transfusion because you need to live, you're going to die. They've given you, you know, you're going to die. You have a blood disorder and blah blah blah. Well, if you need some friends, that's us, ExJW friends. We're here for you. Okay, like I say, I don't have control over all my screens here. I'm going to go to the comments. And we have a few people on tonight. So this is a time tonight that everyone can come online. Hopefully we get the Watchtower on. I got a way of enticing Watchtower on, I think. I'm just going to play my rap song over and over until they come on. I think that'll do it, because you know, I'm already sick of it. I didn't even play it. Anyways, it's I hope they get sick of it, because we're just going to keep playing it. Jane says, hello, everyone. Yeah, it does say May 9th. I didn't do the intro. Next time I'll run a different intro maybe. Or maybe I'll just run the music. We'll see. This show isn't forever. So if you're on this show, if Watchtower does come on, we figure someone from Watchtower kind of came on last time. Hi, Carrie. Leakum. Said that right. Joe and Fran, hello. Nice to see you guys. We had a really good time last night. That was a really good show. A lot of people were on. It's growing. Our community is growing all across the U.S. The meetups are growing. Everything's growing. And so that's what's important, we feel, is get there and let the community, the Jehovah's Witness community, let them know that there's kind of something on the outside that's not scary. And that's what ExJW Friends is all about. That's what Fixing My Faith is all about. And that's really what we're going to be advertising. I'm going to show you guys a little bit here, some of the banners we've chosen. We've chosen two. Best place to show you would be probably here. Just take you on a little tour. Just give me a second. I didn't really plan this, so. Oh yeah, I'm in the wrong screen. Okay, there we go. Huh, I can't pull it up for some reason. Let me see. I have it here. I can show you here, I think. This is a program we use. Pull you right the back door of the studio. You're going to see what we're working on. I've got all kinds of things. We're always working on something. Let me see here. Okay, there's one. There's a banner. That's ExJWfriends.com, Fixing My Faith. So that's one of the banners that we're looking at. And they'll be about, I don't know, 36 inches. They're not going to be real big. You know, they're bigger than a real estate sign. So you could kind of just hold it up, stand there. You can get really big ones. Like you can get them the size of a sheet of plywood, but we thought, what if the wind caught it and stuff like that? And then the other one that we're choosing here, let me just find it. Right there. So that one was kind of the cartoony one, you know, the kids. And this is, you know, for the adults kind of see that there's something going on. Life after the Watchtower. ExJW Friends, Fixing My Faith. So those are kind of the two banners. That's what we're looking at doing when we go on the road. So that's what's happening in our backyard. Okay, so hello, Jay, Steen. Hello, Steen, one. And Lisa, welcome. So who else do we have? That's it. Ruby Quinn's on with us. Hello, Ruby. Nice to see you. Maybe some of you guys want to come on. If Watchtower comes on, we'll see what happens. That's San Diego Primo. He was on last night. Really good program last night. Appreciate all that you do contribute to the community, San Diego Primo. You have what they call a radio voice. And that could be one of your superpowers if you pursue that, because you have a really nice kind approach on the radio, this radio voice. You could do podcasts, all kinds of stuff. So there's room to grow. Anybody in the community that wants to grow their talents or take a try at a podcast, they could do what Madeline and her husband are doing. Tomorrow or on Saturday, they're hosting another podcast, and it's about going forward as for us ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. Yeah, so we're always looking for new talent in the community. It's like we're the Watchtower, but we're not. It's nice to hear it. If you have talent out there, and you want to come on and talk, I'll tell you if you have a knack at it, because we need more apostates, positive apostates. That's what this is about. And a lot of us old guys aren't going to do this forever. Okay, Leopold, hello, welcome. Yeah. Oh, you were a PO announcer, eh? San Diego PO. I might be talking loud. These earphones kind of make me talk loud. Yeah, you're a radio announcer. What did you say? I was told about when the Padres PA announcer retired. I talked to Steph about creating my own show. Absolutely. If you want to put something together, a lot of people start out just doing podcasts or behind the scene things, and but you got a good voice for it. Okay, yeah, Wild Wall. Hello, Wild Wall. That's a cool name. You wouldn't want to get the governing body up against the wall. You'll go wild. Okay, well, here we go. This is what this is about. We have to get Watchtower. A lot of times Watchtower people, they come on our channels. I haven't seen them on our channels. We have a lot of moderators. They keep our channels pretty clean. Because if the Watchtower people want to come on and have proper comments, they could do that. They could come on and talk to us. You know, like we look at our comments some days and it's just like, we had one today where it says fake news. What about the news is fake? It was just, it's, unless I said the word wrong, I was saying that word wrong. Lithuania. There, I said it right. Nailed that. You know, maybe that's the part of the news that was fake. Lithuania. Yeah, no such place, right? Fake news. So it depends on how you want to spin those things, but some of this stuff is really happening, and it's hard for Watchtower people to swallow it. If I was looking at podcasts and things like that, and they're talking about the domino effect of the Watchtower in Norway, and I would defend, you're going to defend your castle, right? And if Watchtower is your castle, then you're going to defend it. But when you come onto our channels and give us one-liners like you're dying at Armageddon or something like that, or you're the devil, or those kinds of things, those aren't nice. Although we do pitch that back to the governing body. So we are JWs in thought, and like our minds are kind of wired the same. We get out and we start looking for the devil, right? Yeah, I've been looking for the devil for a while, and then I quit looking for the devil and I started looking for the love. And that changes your whole thing when you start looking for the love, quit looking for the devil. Because you see, when you're always looking in the gutter, guess what? You're going to fall in. You're going to fall into the gutter. You're down there with the devil. And then, so JWs come onto our channel and they say, that didn't happen in Montana. There's no way they're doing this in court or New Zealand, whatever. All over the world, these things are happening. It's real news. It's dominoing. It'll be snowballing pretty soon. It's dominoing right now. And what does domino means? It means that when it falls, and if you're in an area where you're in a close proximity, chances are you're going to knock some other countries over. So Norway, the Baltic area, Lithuania is actually a very wealthy state in the Baltics. It's people are taking notice. This is all going to happen. The Baltics, it'll spread. It's going to go to the European Union. JW.org's going to fight it. They have to fight it. They have to fight all this stuff. And then they fight it, and then they'll fight that. Let's see what happens. They really fought hard in Norway. They lost. They're going to use the same tactics that they did in Norway. We'll watch it. This is all real time. It's kind of cool. So here we are. We want to invite the JWs on who are out there online and want to have a chance to talk, defend your religion, because we maybe there's something we're missing. Maybe there's something I don't know, something that we're missing. Let us know. But right now, this is kind of what I think.
Hey yo, here we go. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. I said microphone check. 1 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Ain't nobody out here winning like me. Can't nobody out here do it like me. Just like me, like me. I'm one of a kind, I'm like a rare breed. A breath of fresh air, you can see me. People stand up just to greet me. Role model, kids wanna be me. Listen now, later you'll believe me. Got you under my spell, the whole thing was easy. I just come and wink my eye like a genie. Put my crown on, y'all little peasant can king me. I'm irreplaceable, the different one. Since I was born, I was the chosen one. Every time I speak, you know it's unique. Might go over your head, my words are kinda too deep. Man, I'm wise like an eyelid. Summa the smoke. Yeah, I wait. I'm still waiting. Nobody do it like me. Nobody do it like me. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, act like you know. It's going down, I'm your captain. It's going down, I'm your captain. It's going down, I'm your captain. It's going down, I'm your captain now. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. I'm your captain now. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. This is how you start a fresh rap with a new track. Put your seatbelts on, prepare for the impact. In fact, I did that with less than a 6.
Okay. I'm getting sick of that one. So anybody out there want to come on in, face to face. That's what this is about. This is about face to face. I'm looking at the comments here. You know, some of the other things that concern me, and there's no one on yet, but here, you know, let's put aside the rap music. But the rap music, that's a licensed song. Licensed. I got the guy's name, I think, on the thumbnail, and Liam something or other. So he nailed it. These guys, they think they're the chosen ones. Are they born the chosen ones? They're crowning themselves. They're the guy nailed every line in that song, nailed the governing body. And that's really who our target is, the governing body. The governing body are the ones that we'll never understand them, because you and I are not narcissists. The average Jehovah's Witness out there, the average Joe, is just a normal guy like all of us. But the governing body, they think of the governing body as God's chosen channel. And you got to work through God's chosen channel or you're not going to make it, right? That's what they say. Now, here's the thing. When you give your alliance over to, as an individual, you give your alliance over to this channel that they chose for you, you're giving your alliance over. You can never root into God properly. You can never really get to know God on your own. Now, when you get away from that, you unplug your roots. You see, all 8.5 million are rooted through this one root, the governing body, and they actually believe that it's the only route to God. They believe it's actually a legitimate route to God. I think you start looking at that route, it's rotted. It's a rotted route. And the JWs are all attached to this rotted root. They think it's attached to God, but it's not. But now when you're praying through that root, you're praying through it. Your allegiance is through that root. Now, if you detach and plant yourself into the universe, into whatever you want to call God, whatever the ether around you, if you want to call that the Holy Spirit, I don't know, whatever your spirituality is. Even atheists have a form of spirituality. They may have taken the Bible and thrown it out and said, baloney. That was designed to control people. Jesus never wrote a word of that. And that's a fact. Jesus never wrote a word of that. Did he inspire it? It's a good question, isn't it? So anyways, we discuss that on this channel. Not a lot of people like to tackle those kinds of questions. Those are questions I have. Now, here's some other questions I have with this organization. You know, we're told that we should have our allegiance, we should obey, listen, obey, and be blessed. Well, what are we obeying? This.
And also, the governing body is neither inspired nor infallible. and so it can err in doctrinal matters or in organizational direction. Well, knowing this, then, we are not embarrassed about adjustments that are made, nor is an apology needed for not getting it exactly right previously. We understand this is how Jehovah operates. He reveals matters gradually when it is needed.
Okay. Yes. So when I seen that at the annual meeting this year, 2023 annual meeting, we reported on it right away. What did you think? You know, on the ExJW channels, we've all been reporting on this one. It still catches, like, I cannot understand that. How can you not be inspired? Write this Bible, like they wrote this Bible, right? Took it and changed a lot of things. There's a lot of changes in this Bible, but they're not inspired. Like, they admit that. They get up on the stage and they admit to the world that they're not inspired. But then they say, if you watch that whole video, we're still the faithful slave. And the faithful slave's a question mark in the parable. It's not a prophecy. It's nothing. They're grasping at straws, folks. They've been fooling us all these years. They're not inspired. And you know why they don't want to be inspired, folks? It's very simple. They're a big business, and they're in trouble. You see, because his second breath, he says, we're not inspired, so therefore we don't have to apologize, Leo. Basically, he says, we're not responsible for all the bullshit that's going on. We didn't do it. We're just kind of running the show right now. We're running the corporation right now, but there's a lot of crap. We didn't do it. We're not inspired to do all that crap. There's just no way. We don't have to apologize for what all those governing bodies did years ago. We're going to have to get rid of Splain and Let, though. Those old guys, they got to go. You see, this is what they're going to do. They're going to pull in new guys into this governing body. They've already pulled in 2 new guys, got rid of one of the old guys that drank too much anyways. And these are all humans, folks. These aren't idols. Jehovah's Witnesses look at, oh, we got someone on stage. Jehovah's look at these guys as idols. And looks like we got a couple people coming on stage. Okay, so I see someone on stage. I don't think I have the names turned on here to keep it all private. The names are all turned off, so your names will not be on the screen. I'm gonna put this first person on, and we're gonna chat, and then there's another person on there. I'll see who that is. Here we go. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Okay, you can identify yourself if you want, but you don't have to.
Ruby, I'm Ruby Quinn from ExJW Ruby Quinn on YouTube.
So, Ruby, tell us what ticks you off about the Watchtower. What's your biggest concern right now?
The CSA issues. Like, that's literally what I talk about on my channel as well, because unfortunately that happened in my own family when my uncle was arrested for trying to meet up with a minor. And this is when he got caught. Okay, we don't know how long he's been doing this, and there is no transparency when it comes to this fellowshipping. So he was DF 4 times or 3 times before this most recent incident in 2019. And then that's what got me thinking, with all of the activism that Mark O'Donnell does, and just all of us in the community talking about CSA issues and then the cover-ups. And when it happened to my uncle, I said, hold up a second. He got DF so many times before that now it makes me think that maybe they were covering it up. I mean, we'll never know. But now that the law got to him, I'm happy that he got arrested.
Hold on for a second. Someone came back on backstage. They disappeared. I was going to put you on. So come on backstage again. Don't be shy. I'll put you back on. Ruby and I'll just talk here for a bit. And then I'll put you on with Ruby. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry for interrupting. But,
no, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, this happened really recent in 2019. And so since this was his first offense, he paid the bail and he was able to just register as a sex offender and walk.
Really?
And so that
Really?
really upset me, knowing that he got reinstated. He can go to the Kingdom Hall. He can be around children. And it angers me because I'm never going to know for sure. You know what I mean? And since I'm already out of the religion, they're not going to talk to me. They're not going to let me know. And I guess I'll never know, but I'm going to do whatever I can to bring awareness to this topic, because I know for a fact that there are sex offenders walking around these Kingdom Halls.
I have the same concern. I raised my family, and I know my daughters sat on the knee of the sex offender. And I was told after, before they actually shunned me, because one of the elders actually left for 2 years. He quit going for 2 years after he found out he served all those years with a sex offender. It came out, and they kept it all hush up. I know who it is, but he could not tell me. He went back. He suckered in and went back. He's, well, it's not Jehovah's fault. It's the people's fault. You see, and this is how JWs get suckered back into this. That's what I see happening. Okay, anybody else want to come online here? The lines are open. I see someone online there. Just hold on here for a second. Go ahead, talk to the audience a bit. Tell them about your channel, what you're doing, Ruby.
Oh, okay,
you're doing
sure.
a great job, by the way. You're doing a great job.
Yes, thank you so much.
Check this person on backstage here. If it's a Watchtower person, I'm going to put them on. Are you ready to talk to them? I don't know. Someone was on and off.
Oh, okay. So you mean like active JWs?
Well, that's what this face-to-face is all about. We want those trolls coming on. We want to talk to them. And we want them to tell us why they think, what's going on here, right?
Yeah, I mean, I always wish that I can have a one-to-one conversation with Jehovah's Witnesses. Like I'm waiting for the day, and when that day came for me, I was so happy.
Shauna, what? I know I am. Okay, I'm getting feedback from my producer. Okay, I'm going to get off the stage, so have at her, Ruby. We'll see everyone in a bit.
Oh. Well, I guess I can just watch, look at the comments, I guess. Hold on, let me just scroll up here. Okay, so everybody was commenting on the CSA issues. Okay. Yeah, I mean, one of the first videos that I have on my channel was literally, about CSA. And that's my primary focus, because I think that the Jehovah's Witness children need to be protected. And the parents need to be, made aware of it.
Okay. We would like to welcome everyone back, all the ExJWs, back to the Watchtower. And we would like, we are working on the CSA problem. We are definitely working on it.
I would like to know, or how would you describe that happening? How are they working on it specifically?
We changed our elders book.
Oh, did they revise it or something?
It's a crime. We're telling all of the elders it's a crime in our new elders book.
That's interesting. I would like to see if I can download that book, like on a PDF file, and see if we can see those revisions. Because I do think that they talk about the issues, but they don't specifically say to go to the police. And I think it's the wording that is important.
My question is,
It's
why did you allow it to reach this epidemic proportion in the first place? I mean, clearly, if anyone harms a child, I mean, and not going to the police and not having criminal charges brought, what the blank? That is unconscionable. If anybody ever did anything to my son, they'd have to answer to me, and it wouldn't be pretty.
all institutions are having trouble with this. This is a person
No,
problem.
they aren't. The JWs
Our-
are the most prominent. Stop blame shifting.
Our organization does not condone
Your
CSA.
organization. How about you follow what the Bible says?
That's what we do.
No, you don't. Not even close.
Okay, I'm just going to quickly cut in here and just say that I have this timer. So Sherry or whoever that is backstage there, everybody
You're
will
hiding.
have 1 minute to make their argument, and then we're going to let this guy talk. Okay?
Okay, great.
Is that good? So
Sounds good.
if we're, yeah. Okay, so hold on. So just everybody else, just please bite it for now. And otherwise we'll mute mics, but I don't think we have to.
Uh-huh.
I do see you sitting back there. Hello. I don't know if you guys are okay with your names being said. I can see them. Okay, so Sherry. Sorry, I just
Yes.
said your name. Anyways, the floor is yours.
I don't care.
Go for
I
it.
have nothing to hide, sweetie. Thank you. So, okay, so it's my turn.
Okay, just 1 sec here, and I'm gonna. Yeah, just hold on. though. There should be a timer. I'm making this absolutely fair. All right, it's all yours.
Okay. Yeah, the question is why is there all of this CSA that has been allowed to continue for literally for decades? It's very prominent. People all over the world who have been a member of this religion have had children who are victims. I mean, I've seen videos from various ExJWs who have posted about how, their children or they know of children or their brother, mother, sister, father, whoever it might be, has been victimized by this CSA. And yet everything that this religion does is they do it to try to cover it. They sweep it under the rug. I have many, many, many ExJW friends on Facebook. So, I mean, biblically speaking, this is just insanity. Because if the JWs even actually, did what was, the biblical principle of the matter would be you would go straight to the police. You don't have to have some out of context to witness rule, because if you would actually read the passage, the full context of the passage in Leviticus, you would see that does not apply to this CSA issue. So, yeah, that's what, I just think it's unconscionable. Anybody? Okay, so I'm just
there's
done with that.
quite a few points in there. So now, would our guest like to speak to this quickly? Go ahead.
I could speak from the Watchtower. I can speak. Okay, first of all, we do not condone CSA, and those individuals that disguised themselves as elders or ministerial servants or as publishers and committed these atrocious sins, crimes against peoples, they will be prosecuted by the courts. Many of this stuff is in the courts. We cannot speak about it. It's being fought in the courts. The courts are trying to blame us. We've never condoned child sex abuse in any of our elder books. We were not the best at monitoring it in the past. We'll admit that. And we've had to make changes. And so have all the other religions. And the payouts will be made. I got 13 seconds. The payouts will be made according to the courts. If Watchtower has to pay out, well, then Watchtower will have to pay out.
Yeah, that's why you're literally screaming for money, because as if those billions that the Watchtower has isn't enough, you have to keep continuously screaming for money, 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 money. Litigation is expensive, very, very, very expensive. And yeah, so perhaps you should step up to the plate and like publicly, it's like sort of renounce all of this and say, biblically speaking, we will not tolerate this any longer, and we will do what is right according to scriptural and biblical principles.
Thank you, Sherry. Tom, give me a nod if you're ready to get in here a little bit, and we'll turn the floor over to you here. Okay,
Yeah.
go
Now,
ahead, Tom.
okay. The excuse that, yes, we are addressing it in the new elders book. Really? That is a secret book that only elders get to read. The rest of the rank and file can't read that. And the public isn't supposed to know, but they're allowed to read and see what's on the internet, but the witnesses aren't. And the elders get to read what's on that. Well, the elders were that's a very weak argument, very weak excuse. The fact is, I know and experienced the many cover-ups of that child sex abuse, that and generally, if the person moved to another congregation, nobody ever heard about it. It just went on and on and on. Now all of a sudden, it seems because of the legal ramifications and the internet exposing things that they are making these changes. But other than that, that's the only reason. And it's not, there is no spiritual reason for what you guys are doing, what the witnesses are doing. It's not for spirituality, it's for legal reasons only. It's a very weak argument that our elders book is addressing that. It is a very weak argument. It is virtually to avoid lawsuits. Why are you hiding all of the database? Why did you shred all of the information and the notes? It is to avoid litigation, and that is it. That is all. It is not for spiritual reasons.
I would really agree with you, Tom. I think that you've made some very, very good points there. Would anybody else, I see Fran is there. Would anybody else like to add something within a minute here before I turn the floor back over to our guest? Fran, let me just unmute your mic here, please.
Hey, Fran and Joe.
Hello. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Oh, everybody say hi. Yeah. Oh, sorry. There we go.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the floor is yours, Fran. Please.
All right. Our concern was about the CSA too, but it was well covered. I want to talk about the shunning. Why should someone shun just because they brought it to the elders' attention that they heard about the child sexual abuse cover-up? And that's what happened to us. We started getting shunned, and they had a warning talk about us because we were asking questions. We wanted to know why they were hiding child sexual abuse, even though they said, well, it never happened here. It's a lie. You can't believe what's on the internet. They gave all the excuses in the world, but they did not address the point about child sexual abuse. And then as soon as we started questioning, we got shunned. Why should we get shunned for asking a question, for being concerned parents that raised our 4 children? I don't see the timer, Shauna. I don't know when our time is up.
I'll just throw in here real quick that the JW practice of shunning or disfellowshipping is totally non-biblical. I could go on for an hour about how unbiblical their practice
Yeah.
of disfellowshipping is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joe's here
Oh, you
too.
wouldn't get very many arguments here, Sherry. No, Fran, yeah. Hi, Joe.
Hello. Tell me when I
You
can
guys
go.
were good within your time. Ruby's sitting there so quietly. Ruby? Oh, would you
Hi.
like a minute now? You go right ahead, Joe.
Oh,
I'll just cue this up. The floor is
very quick.
yours. Give her.
Okay. Yeah, very quickly. They don't like whistleblowers. It brings attention to the corporation. It draws very negative attention. It drags their name down by their own bad actions. They really don't care about the sheep, the people, and they'll do everything they can to silence anyone who brings it up to the rest of the friends. It not only is it a cult, but it's a high control organization that controls people through fear. And unfortunately, so many of the people that are in are probably in mostly because of fear of loss. And what we're saying is that they need to think very clearly about the reputation that they're individually maintaining and individually working on as sincere believers. They're going to be left with a reputation of either being sincere or simply acting out of fear and putting on a front. So that's what we'd like to just point out.
Nope, some very, very good points. Okay, we're just going to see if our guest is available here.
Yeah, just real quick again. I'm sorry. The Bible says that how many times must I forgive my brother? 7 times? No, Yeshua said 70 times 7. So who's going to sit there and count like 555 times that I have to forgive someone? So again, yeah, it's really not biblical. So go ahead.
Okay, Ruby, give her, and then we'll go to Angelo and then Jay.
Okay. Well, I think it's really important to keep these conversations going because if there are any active Jehovah's Witnesses listening or anything like that, this is why it's good as ex Jehovah's Witnesses for us to communicate these things because you never know what's going to happen until it happens to you. And then that's when you are tested to see what are you going to do when you have knowledge of something that is being covered up or not being handled properly. And so I was in that boat. And that's why in the beginning I was talking about that's why I started my channel. That's why I speak about these things. Because until it happened to me, that's when I took it seriously. That's when I started calling elders and I started talking to people because it's not about us. It's about the children. It's about all of the Jehovah's Witness children that are being harmed since the 90s, since, like in the past. And so we can't do nothing about that, but we can do something now, today. And if we have to protest, that's what we need to do. If we have to talk to our local politicians, we need to do something because more and more children are going to be harmed in the process because the JW culture is to keep everything quiet and have all of the affairs be handled internally. And that's the issue that we're trying to bring to you guys.
Right. It's all about protecting this man-made religion, not about protecting the children. They're more interested in protecting the Watchtower than they are than protecting the children.
Exactly.
100% again, Sherry. Angelo, how would you like to get your word in here?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep, I believe so.
Okay. All right.
Please. Yep, can you hear me? Yep, we're good now,
Yeah.
Angelo. The floor is yours.
Okay. And I don't know what the problem with the camera is, but regardless, that's okay. Um, yeah, I've been out. Basically, I started realizing stuff quite a long time ago. I was kind of really never really in. I had children later in life, and I was 40, and I'm 68 now. So I kept them in because it was keeping their nose clean, basically, keep them off drugs, that kind of thing. But at the same time, I experienced a horrible thing, and this is how it was treated. This was in 2005 when my son was just 5 years old. He came down to me one morning and started describing to me in great detail this family that we had a babysitter, and it was sexual conduct done to him. And I'm not going to go graphic with it, but it was very disgusting on every level you could imagine. This was during a fall assembly. And so I went to the presiding overseer immediately with this. And the first thing I was told was, don't say anything to anybody. And then I said, well, that's not going to happen. So you need to get together with a couple elders right now. And we need to discuss this, or else I will be telling everybody here. So that was a choice I gave him. My wife at the time was suicidal. It was just over the chart. And I was trying to remain calm. Now, again, these are in the days when I didn't know any different, still believing that this is, Jehovah's organization, blah, blah, blah. Well, the presiding overseer did call up to New York, and I was able to hear on the other end whoever he was talking to. This is what they said. Whatever he does, you tell him to keep his mouth shut. And that was like, whoa. So to make a long story short, this particular kid who was, his father was a ministerial servant, and apparently there'd been abuse going on in his family, multi-generational. And this kid was the latest victim of it. His older brother abused him. They were good friends of ours. We went to dinner a lot. And so he was a 16-year-old, and he babysitted a lot of families. Well, because of his guilty conscience, he confessed it to a psychiatrist. And of course, the psychiatrist immediately reported it to the police, and it was handled correctly at that point. And we found out there were 6 families involved in this, and there had been previous incidences up in I'm from Central Kentucky right now. They came from Ohio, and it was kept hidden. So yeah, and then so here's the deal. What happens is I kept my sanity. When the professionals took over, the first thing the police did was separate me and my wife from our children to make sure it wasn't us, which I was 100% behind. That's what you should do, because usually it's a family member. And I had invited the presiding overseer along to witness this. And, his jaw was just kind of dropped open. But still, all in all, it was always about, don't say anything to anybody. And if that kid hadn't confessed, to this day, it still would be hidden. And that's what really makes me sick to my stomach.
Wow.
Yeah. And see, this nonsense,
Well,
I
thank
was,
you for.
yeah, just one last thing. What I was accused of was this.
Yep.
Well, locally, this happens. It wasn't really an organizational thing. I said, excuse me, you can't say that, because I was there, and I demanded that they call Bethel. And that was the answer we got back. Keep his mouth shut, whatever happens. He's not to say anything to anybody.
Oh, well, number one,
6
thank
months
you
later,
for
I got
sharing
drunk
that
and
here.
went nuts, and I got disfellowship, by the way, 6 months later, because I fell apart. Isn't that nice? Yeah, just to add fuel to the fire.
No,
So,
it's unfortunately a story that is told way too often. I'm sorry that you had to endure that, but happy that you actually found resolution, or some, through the psychologist, right? It's too bad that you have to count on an a worldly person, right, for the help
yeah,
that
as they
should have
say.
been provided on the inside. So we're just going to give Jay a moment here, and then we'll get our guest back on before he disappears on us. So just thank you, everybody. And Jay, you go right ahead, please. Just a
Hi,
sec.
I just
There's
want to
a
say,
okay.
uh, just basically want to say thanks for having this platform. I think it's great. This is actually going to help get those ones who still, you know, inside to actually see. I come from a generation of before it was called Jehovah Witness, and my great grandmother back in 1923. So my question is really to her is if she take a look at some of the court proceedings, she will see that the representatives and some lawyers are Jehovah's Witnesses and some are not. They are directly lying to the courts. And as me growing up from a Jehovah's Witness, you're not supposed to lie to the courts. You're supposed to pay Caesar things to Caesar and God things to God. And you shouldn't be lying because if you believe in Jehovah, he's going to take care of everything. Also, lobbying. Jehovah's Witnesses not supposed to lobby. They are lobbying with Catholic people to get certain laws passed to back them. You're not supposed to be giving out money like that to the lobby people. That's not supposed to be happening. That's happening. Also, we look at the money that was given to them through this charity they get, and they are funding, they are investing in alcohol, tobacco. They're investing in all different different types of companies that are unacceptable supposedly to Jehovah's Witnesses or to Jehovah. So these are some of the things you have to really look at to see how, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses really are. And they're only backing about 12 of them. So it's only been 12 of them is really being taken care of. The rest of the organization is just being used. And that's all I have to say.
No, you brought up a lot of more great points. They're definitely a corporation. Well, to me, and keep in mind I'm worldly, so if our guest is ready, we will let him take the stage and maybe talk to some of these points.
Hello? Hello? Um, First of all, I'd like to apologize to all the people online that have went through all these problems. That I guess from the apology standpoint is that I'm sorry it happened to you. Things like this shouldn't happen in any kingdom hall. We hear of things like this happening in other organizations, and sad to say that more than lately we've been hearing about these things at kingdom halls. So it's something that's concerning us a great deal, as you can imagine. We have had to hire worldly lawyers. We do not have the legal staff to handle some of the things that we're handling in all the countries. And there's a lot going on. If you could imagine, we're like a large locomotive, a train, and you put the brakes on and it doesn't stop right at once. And then to turn that locomotive around, it takes a lot of planning. You know, there's a lot to do. We know that we have issues, and what I'd like to do though is I have a screen that I'd like to present. If the moderator would allow that to be presented, I could talk about it. Okay, this is our website. And, this is what we're talking about, subjects like what happened to decency. We're talking about misinformation. And we realize that there's a lot of misinformation out there. So everything that we read and talk about isn't necessarily true, but we're not naive to the fact that we do have problems. Where I'm not using this to say that we don't have problems. Now, when we come down our website, there's all kinds of areas that you can go: faith in God, peace and happiness, teens, marriage and family, science. We've taken a whole different look on how we're fulfilling our commission to preach the good news. And I want to show you, if you haven't seen this video, this is a video that we're showing people with the convention. And the convention's coming up here, and it's a good place to take a look at some of the stuff that's happening with our convention. You'll see we have a lot happening throughout the summer.
Waste of time.
And do I have some more time, moderator? So this one I wanted to show you right here.
Greetings, you highly favored one. Jehovah is with you.
I don't want some J God with me.
You will become pregnant and give birth to a son. And you are to name him Jesus.
No, you're not. You're to name him Yeshua.
The true light that gives light to every sort of man.
The living Torah.
To come into the world.
Let it go, let it go, let it go.
Yeshua is the living Torah. Your organization is in the dark. You are not in the light. You are not in Yeshua. You are in man-made religion.
Did you notice he never answered the question that I
Okay.
asked?
Do they ever? I'm surprised that honestly it was so long before that was asked to be brought up. The webpage, I mean. So let me just see here. We have a little bit of a lag here on this end, so just thank you for bearing with us here, people. Okay, so San Diego Pimo, I see you there. If you want to go ahead, and we'll give you a minute now. I'd like to open the floor, but I'm afraid that it's going to get very messy here. So, okay, San Diego, what would you like to say?
Okay, I had to catch my breath there for a second. So, but I don't really have much to say as far as like questions or points, but in one of my playlists, there's a documentary that's about 30 minutes long. I'm not 100% sure how long exactly it is, but it talked about but it was bringing up a lot of the harmful effects after the CSA. There was there was an individual there that totally disfigured herself. Okay. She pretty much completely disfigured herself, and
Just San Diego.
yeah, it's she completely pretty much disfigured herself. And one of the reasons she said was not just because nothing was done, she didn't want to make herself look beautiful.
Oh my God, I'm about to cry. Oh my God.
The host is unmuted.
Very sad. Yeah. Just take a breath there, San Diego. I'm also just going to unmute Fran here.
Yeah, I just wish that this JW person, whoever he is, I just wish that
Okay.
all of these heartbreaking stories, and just throw them in the laps of all of these self-appointed men in New York, and let them see firsthand just exactly what they do to people.
Unfortunately, they side skirt the
Yeah,
issue.
and I think actually Sherry. Oh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shauna.
No. It's a very good point. No, they do side skirt the issue, and I was just going to talk to Sherry's point quickly and say I think that by everybody sharing their stories, just getting the information out there, it's just so important. And like San Diego, you're not alone here. It's horrible that you have to everybody, all of you have to live through these horror stories to find out later maybe that it wasn't the truth. It's just it's so sad. So but I do believe that there is good that can come from it, and just even having discussions like this, even if you don't resolve anything, get it out there, get people thinking about it. It is happening. So Ruby, if you'd like to jump in, if you have a point, please do. We're not going to keep track of times. Just, please give each other a chance to talk. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I got a little triggered from the video, I'm not gonna lie. um, but I think it's a little like I don't know, is this an active Jehovah's Witness or still believing Jehovah's Witness? Because I think it's unfair to debate someone who hasn't looked at the other side, correctly. Because if you're still under the belief that the governing body is inspired by the Holy Spirit, or that they are God's channel here on earth, then it's not really going to go anywhere, because you still believe that that Jehovah is speaking to these men. And
Yeah,
then with the
that is.
CSA issue or anything else, it's not going to work, because these things are not supposed to be happening if they have the Holy Spirit. So therefore the Holy Spirit is not active.
And it should be clear by testimonies such as Mr. San Diego guy that they're not under any kind of Holy Spirit. They're not being directed by any kind of holy God, because if they were, this poor guy and all of the other guys who have testified and the other testimonies would never have even happened. So it's clear the last thing this organization is under any holy influence.
Yeah, I just want to point something out that I had to step back and regroup a little bit, but I've never been a victim of it, but it was just seeing these documentaries, and that lady who just completely disfigured herself because nothing was done. And of course, she just completely said that she wanted to make herself completely ugly so nobody would hit on her, which I can understand that. It was just, the aftermath and effect. I mean, the line about telling us about, even David Splain, when he was like saying out there, tell the truth, trust the elders, they're there for you. And then seeing the own legal department lie. I mean, you have this song that, yeah, I remember this song. I remember we were doing songs last night about, there was one that I remember that stood out that said, we're Jehovah's Witnesses, and of course, with the emphasis, we speak out in fearlessness. We got plenty of brothers and sisters in Russia and North Korea that are going to prison because of their stance and their neutral faith. And here you have Jeffrey Jackson totally backpedaling and sounding like a career politician, skirting at the Australian Royal Commission, and he's not showing the same backbone that our brothers and sisters are. And we're supposed to really follow somebody like that? It's right. It's like ridiculous. I mean, Ruby brought up a point last night about not letting this blackmail stuff get the best of you or anything like that. I already know there's one thing that her and I have in common, and our mothers are pretty much like far gone. I think we had talked about that on one of the live streams where I brought up about the earthquake in New York, but of course I was making a wisecrack about that being the last days. But I think it's one of those things that if hey, organization, I already have my exit plan going. You want to try and hold my family hostage, you go bring it on, because I'm not going to let that stop me from leaving this organization. I had no business being in there in the first place because I didn't believe in it.
Can I say something? Am I muted?
Go ahead, friend.
Oh, okay. Yeah, San Diego Pimo, really appreciate what you're saying. I really appreciate this forum, debate, whatever you want to call it, because it gets people's feelings out. And I think we should have more of this. As far as you mentioned, San Diego Pimo mentioned the songs. What we're going to do next week, we're going to go further with this. We're going to do a parody on the songs, and we talked to one of the friends today, and at first he said it was really triggering him because he was listening to the Kingdom songs. He was trying to change the words, and it really made him depressed. But after a while, when he started changing the words, that it really was healing for him. And we got laughing because he told us some of the words that Keith and him are going to be using. And then Joe came in with some more. So we're going to put it out there. All of you guys are creative. And if you want to take any of the Kingdom songs and change them around, we're actually coming out with an apostate songbook. So we're going to go further with this apostate paradise thing. We had such good reviews last night. Here's Joe. I don't know if you want to say anything.
A lot of the friends need to express what the reality of what they've experienced in that organization. The organization puts forth a fantasy, a huge myth, and unfortunately they get people to live it only out of fear, and it works as a form of control. What's happening now is people are stepping out, exercising courage, and expressing themselves. Mm-hmm. And the court of public opinion is probably the most powerful court to get things done. Unfortunately, see, the government subsidizes the witnesses with tax breaks. The government really is not going to be a savior for any of the wrongs that are being done by the witnesses. Unfortunately, the government is just as guilty of the things that the witnesses do. They're really no different. But the court of public opinion is what we're addressing, and our voices are working. They're listening to us, and besides that, it's good. It's very good for the people to speak out.
Yeah, it's very healing.
Yeah, I said we should speak to power. In other words, our voices should make us feel strong, and what that does, that helps others to be strong too.
Yeah, we will all.
Yeah, I think it helps both in people realizing that they're not alone, and also in actually just spreading information that is even being used in court cases sometime. So that's what the impact of these stories is. It's growing. So just before I run out of internet or lose anybody here, I'd like our guest to come back on. If you're ready there, please. Just 1 second here, guys. Okay. All right, the floor is yours again one more time here. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for expressing yourselves, and my sympathy goes out to all those that are affected and have troubles. Now, I don't expect anybody just to come back on a whim. The doors are always open for everyone to come back. All the ExJWs. And what I would like to say in closing, if you could offer us any advice on what we could or should do to make changes, what would that advice be? And I'm going to leave the stage because my time is up, but I will listen in from the background. Thank you very much, everyone.
Why don't you publicly apologize to this San Diego guy and whoever it is he is referring to, and why don't you change the name of the organization to just another religious organization? Because that's all you are. You don't teach the Bible. You don't follow the Bible. You teach people that they have to unquestioningly be loyal to and obey men in New York. I could go on for hours. I could fill a volume of encyclopedias with the complete non-biblical issues of this man-made religion.
Yeah. Well, I think for me personally, I'll just
Yeah.
he's gone, but I'll thank our guest for at least coming online. Not sure who he is or where he's from, but personally, me, I can deal with the shunning. I can deal with the loneliness. I mean, I'm not lonely or anything like that. I'm kind of just used to being on my own. I've never been like a really one of those individuals that's going to be the brightest lamp in a crowd anyway. So I've always been kind of like really mellow for the most part. But I think for me, yeah, okay. Jennifer M just said it. Report the child abuse. My whole thing is let's take care of the children. Now, whether they decide to stay in the organization or not, that's going to be totally up to them when they become of an age. Because I'm not a parent myself or anything like that, and I'm not going to advocate anything. But I could tell you if something like that had ever happened to any of my biological nephews or nieces, or any of my adopted nephews or nieces, I probably could guarantee you that I would not be on this platform right now. I might be somewhere else.
No, it's some very, very valid point. People have done some pretty crazy things to protect those that they love here. So I just want to thank you guys all for just bearing with us, like I said, through these technical difficulties. Vern and I are fighting for bandwidth. So if he is,
Oh shit!
are
That
you
shit
there,
burn.
Vern? Because I can get off now and let you take over,
No,
and I
it's
can go
burnt.
back to chatting.
You took it out.
And we can leave the floor open if you guys want to continue talking. Thank you so much for all of your comments and stuff tonight. That was just great. I think you guys can all control your own mics now. Just 1 second. Oh, I see you up there. It looks like we have everybody on, except I'm just waiting for Vern here to reconnect.
I actually do have some
Okay, I'm
points.
here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you guys go ahead. I'm going to come on. I have some major points. I've been researching this website that he brought up. I want to go over this website. I want to pull it up on the screen because if he's watching in the backstage, I want to show him what I think of the website. But anyways, you guys go ahead. Have a
I actually had some points to the JW. Um okay. A couple of thoughts. Sorry guys, bear with me. I drank a Red Bull, so I'm kind of jittery. Um so one of the first things that I'm just going to be brutally honest with everybody here, Jehovah's Witness, ex-Jehovah's Witness, I'm just going to be brutally honest. I never had an issue with me being a Jehovah's Witness. I was blissfully ignorant. I was happy. I didn't have a problem with the religion. I didn't know anything, and I was fine. But then as soon as I was made aware of the CSA issues and I had a child, a very young child, that's what made me think twice about bringing my kid to the Kingdom Hall. And then once I found out that these court cases were just either being settled out of courts, or that Watchtower was lying about something, or that they spoiled the documents, or just giving the runaround, that is very suspicious for an organization that teaches to be honest in our day to day lives. So if I am a good Jehovah's Witness, why isn't the governing body being even better Jehovah's Witnesses than us? And they have no accountability at all. We can't go to Warwick and ask to speak to a governing body member so that we can get the
Exactly.
truth.
Exactly.
If
It's like
it was
Fort
possible,
Knox.
we would do it. Yes. And that's what my mother told me. She said, "Well, if you're so concerned, why don't you just go to Warwick and speak to the
Mhm.
governing body?" And I
Can't do
said,
it.
"That's obviously not going to happen. We are going to get arrested the moment we show up."
Oh my
And that's why we have this whole apostate army of people that are not being heard. So then we just form our own community and we
Mhm.
band together, we go on YouTube, and this is what we do. Because this is the only way we can do it to bring awareness. But if I didn't know about it, I would still be a Jehovah's Witness today, and I would be raising my kids in a Kingdom Hall. So if I know that I could wake up, other Jehovah's Witness parents can wake up, especially the mothers. More women need to know about this because if they did, they would not bring their kid to a Kingdom Hall because
You,
of how
Ruby,
disgusting it is.
Ruby,
Yes.
that's the difference between you, the ones of us that are concerned, and the ones that are in. We tell people, I mean, we've told people and it just goes right over their head. So there's a difference in people. There's the ones that are concerned and want to do the right thing, and the other ones that just want to support the organization. And I agree with you that there are those out there that if they knew, they would not be attending because we went we went 36 years, raised 4 children. We would never have gotten involved. Joe and I were not born into this. We would never have gotten involved had we known about the child sexual abuse. Never.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. More people have to know, and that's why we're speaking out. And it's so good that there's all these platforms.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yep,
and
we
and
need
I
to
was really
expose the evil works of darkness.
hmm And then when it happened to my uncle, and that was one of the moments where I stopped being a silent apostate, I guess, because even though I was not associating, I was still a Jehovah's Witness. I was just inactive. But when it happened to my uncle and he was reinstated as a sex offender, and he was allowed to go to a Kingdom Hall and he can communicate with the family members, but they were shunning me because I wasn't going to the Kingdom Hall. And you see, that's what I want to also let JWs like try to understand that concept that a pedophile is being treated better than somebody like me. And that's insane. Just because I don't attend the Kingdom Hall, but because this guy is repentant and he's sorry for what he did. He gets to have the whole family talk to him, get invited to parties and everything, but they're shunning me and they don't talk to me because I'm a bad person.
Ooh, wow. Crazy.
Exactly. Like when you really think about it, it's sick, right? So I have a major issue with that. And that's why I even say it on my channel. I cannot be a Jehovah's Witness in my conscience. It would bother me because of the way I was treated. Like forget about the Bible, forget about the theology, forget about the doctrine. It's the way they treat people when these things happen to them. They never apologize. They call you names like an apostate. They try to discredit you. They try to say that you have mental illness for being like a whistleblower or talking about things that we don't really know because that's fake news or that's apostate lies or that's Satan persecuting the organization. And that line of thinking is dangerous because then you're just going to believe whatever Watchtower says and you're never going to look at any outside sources. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to look up the court case. I'm going to look up the mug shot. I'm going to look at the article and I'm going to see how did this happen? How did this person fall through the cracks? And I'm not going to let somebody like my uncle potentially hurt another child. So when I called his elders, they told me, "Oh, we have people watching him." And I was like, "Watching him? What are you talking about? You should revoke his invitation to a kingdom hall." But if I go to a kingdom hall and I start talking about this, they're going to kick me out. So Jehovah's Witnesses have to understand that that's the reason why we are who we are. We're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, we're apostates, whatever you want to call us, is because of the way they treated us. I didn't want to leave. I got kicked out. My family shunned me instead of shunning the pedophile. So I'm sorry, but I will never be a Jehovah's Witness again just for that alone. Because we could talk about other stuff, but that doesn't even matter. This is what matters. It's the crime. It's the CSA. It's the shunning. It's the suicides. It's the blood transfusions. Like that alone could keep us here for years. And it's not even about what the Bible says. We haven't even gotten to that. So it's sad.
Yep, the Bible says that you will know them by their fruits. I mean, evidently it's apparent they're like endorsing somebody who does wrong, and then you're an apostate. So my statement on the I do this on the Facebook page all the time in the JW Biblical Discussion Group. Slander is the language of cowards who don't have any legitimate reply. They can call me every name, everything but a white woman. But I'll tell you what, you can insult me, but all you're doing is showing the fruits of the God you serve. And clearly it isn't the God of the Bible, and you can't defend yourself, and you can't find a scriptural, legitimate, valid defense to what I just said. So you have to resort to slander. And Satan is the father of slander.
Exactly. And these are not lies. These are not apostate lies. This is not Satan persecuting Jehovah's organization. This is truthful court document. Like there's proof. There's literal proof of Watchtower spoiling documents, hiding a database. We have Barbara Anderson with all of her activism and everything that she's done. There's so many people that are telling the truth, but Jehovah's Witnesses despise the truth, and that's how I know that they are a cult. And I'm sorry to say it, but if you don't want to look at both sides of the coin and you just want to believe whatever Watchtower says, then I can't debate somebody who's not willing, to look at other sources. It's unfair because they don't even allow themselves mentally to look this stuff up out of fear. And I was there. I was very fearful. I never looked at anything. And one day I just didn't care about the fear, didn't care about anything, and I was like, let me just peek, let me just look. And that's what Watchtower doesn't want you to do. They don't even want you to look at it. They're like, get rid of it, throw it away, don't even entertain apostates or talk to them, because when they do, they're going to hear these horror stories, and hopefully you have humanity left to say to yourself, you know what, this is wrong, and I'm going to talk to my elders. And you go to your elders and see what they tell you, because then you're going to end up either kicked out or disfellowshipped or reproved for asking too many questions. And that is another characteristic of a cult. They don't want you to ask questions.
The irony about that is that I heard so much about the Bereans always not just taking Paul's word, but also doing the research to find out that everything that he said was true. And it's just kind of like, and one of the things I've seen on a lot of these judicial committees that have been uploaded is I remember one when it talked about somebody who disassociates. Please show me in the scriptures where it says if somebody leaves, they are to be shunned. The common answer is, we're not here to debate the scriptures with you. And it's because I saw this with the legal department and at the Australian Royal Commission. There is no reason. There's nothing about it that why somebody should be shunned. But I think because of the Australian Royal Commission and the legal department, they know that they would be held liable or accountable for those who had left because they felt betrayed by an organization that was supposed to protect them and those kind of things. And I don't know if it's I know we have the shepherding the flock of God. Vern, I think usually goes through that on Mondays. But there's also another elders training school. Now, I'm going to go back to one of my old John Wayne lines that I remember not that I referenced last night, but I remember in this movie, The Sands of Iwo Jima, he says to the Marines, you learned everything about a boot camp in a book, and out here you have to learn not just the book, but everything that's not referenced in the book, and probably 100 things after that, if I remember the words correctly. There's probably something different about this so-called elder school that's not in the Shepherd the Flock of God book. And just based on the fact that every single time when the committee is pinned down with the question, it's always, what does this have to do with Jehovah? What we're not here to debate the scriptures. It always seems like a scripted response. So I think that's probably part of the reason why a lot of these I've seen this on several channels about former elders, MSs, pioneers. There's probably a lot of things that are at these schools that don't that they don't like that aren't in the book, but they're probably trying to follow to the best of the tea that they can remember, but that's totally wrong, period.
Let me just throw in here real quick. It's clear that this J God is not remotely anything like the God of the Bible. Yahweh Almighty did not change his name to something invented by a Catholic monk in Spain 800 years ago. So yeah, it's just to the point is that this J God is nothing whatsoever like the God of the Bible.
May I speak for a second? Hello?
Yes, please do.
Okay, thank you. This is Angelo again. After I had gotten disfellowshipped, I had wound up in a treatment center because I pretty much wanted to kill myself, and I tried to. And on top of that, I was branded and marked for another decade, and I'm the victim. So with all of that, what happened was in my isolation, it started around 2016, 17. I never was throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I always had a deep belief in the Father and the Son, ironically. And that's what I discovered. I started going into language, both Hebrew and Greek. And that's when I discovered Yahweh as well as Yeshua. And the healing came through that because it just jumped off the page. So the wonderful news was I wouldn't want to go through the price of admission again to get to here. However, it's helped me to appreciate that I don't regret, because I'm hoping that now that I've received a lot of healing and going away from all religions and just reading scripture and really in its pure original language, it was beautiful because that's what I've been hungering for all my life. And so at the same time, I've been able to also share things with people who have been harmed. And so everybody has a place in this. You know, a lot of people come out of this atheist or agnostic, or, I mean, it just disrupts your world upside down and the hurt. But ultimately, going through the walk, getting it out of your system, having different communities. And this is a great community, and there's a lot of wonderful videos out there from different people sharing things. There's process. You know, it's like you go through denial, then you go through mourning, a death of it, and you come out on, there's a lot of different processes to it. When you come out on the other side, you can feel the Ruach HaKodeshes and the Holy Spirit truly bring you through the healing. And so ultimately now I can feel differently than I was 6-7 years ago, where all I had was hurt, anger, and isolation. But with all of that, I can share that with somebody now, and that's a privilege. Even if it's just one person, I've already been fortunate to have that experience. And one of those people is my oldest son that went through the harm. We bonded on a level that we've never been able to bond before. So a cult, yes. The devil behind it, yes. That name Jehovah, like if you look at it in Hebrew, Hova means destruction anyway. It's a destroyer.
Yep.
You know, so it's fascinating to me on a lot of levels, but I can only encourage is pray all the more. I don't want to become a preacher in this. I'm very sensitive to this. I mean, everybody's coming out of this and learning at a certain level. But I do know that for me personally, when I just got away from every man-made thing and just the strangest thing, just started looking at this language for what it was, and just started off with Strong's Concordance, I was just floored about how deceptive so many religions are getting, because they all got their narratives. Everybody's listening to their pastor or their governing body or their priest or whatever. It's just come out of all of that. And that's where the beauty came in, because the healing, it takes a miracle to really heal from this. It's nothing earth. I mean, I've been through so much psychiatry and programs and on and on. It helps to a certain degree, but it more or less identifies a problem. This is a real spiritual issue, man, to overcome things. This stuff goes all the way back, as far back as I was brought up abused. So when this happened to my son, I carried the guilt of why didn't I see that? And then I wasn't recognized, and then I was told to shut up, and then on it went. So what am I saying? I might be rambling a bit, but there is hope at the end of the tunnel, and it's wonderful to have a community to share. And thank you for letting me share.
Say something.
I'm still listening. I'd like to weigh in here. I truly appreciate what everybody's offering. Some of the things that people have gone through are just, well, there's no way we can really feel it, but I can certainly have feelings for it. I don't know what you went through, but I truly feel for you. We've gone through and going through our own situations. I can only say with our situation, we're learning an awful lot. I'm ready to continue to find out that any of my beliefs right now are going to change as I continue to learn. I'm not holding any beliefs that I held before. I feel that beliefs are things that you develop and that you refine and that you change. I find that those that are holding on to beliefs, unfortunately, are going to be ones that end up holding on to lies. In fact, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, those that love the lie. Whoever those people are, they can very easily be people that have very strong beliefs that unfortunately aren't real, but they form such an investment in it that there's no way they can possibly see themselves backing out of it. They end up loving their lies. That's one group of people that's coming out. There's another group, and that's maybe some of us who are willing to accept information that's new and that challenges everything that we thought. And I'm willing for that. I always have been. We still are. And everybody's at a different point with that. There's some that will go much further than others with challenging their beliefs. There are others that are going to continue to reinforce their beliefs and to defend their beliefs. That has to be respected. We're not here to go changing anybody's beliefs. I think we need to be able to support each other, at least for the healing. And then if people want to go on to learn what they call the truth, whatever that is, I think we're going to have to respect whatever truth they believe in. And some here are speaking of the real name of God, or he's not this, he's that, he's whatever. It's up to each individual for what they want to believe. All I know is if I believe anything, anytime I do more research, it challenges what I believe in. And I end up finding out I really can't believe in it anymore. Because most of the things that we have been told and even believe in are lies. They're just lies. Because this whole system has been set up on a lie. And everybody's at a different point with that. I'm hearing people defending things and upholding things which I personally know are not true. I'm not here to dispute that. I'm really not. But I found things out. that proved to me that anything that I thought was real is just not real. And the one thing that we find that is real is that people need each other. They need to care for each other. They need to support each other. They don't need to judge each other. That's something we're taught to do. It's a device of influence. The government taught us to do that. Unfortunately, school taught us to do that. And unfortunately, religion is one of the foremost tools for keeping people divided. And it's easy for that to happen. I hear it happening. We hear it happening even here. Religion's going to divide people. Religion is going to continue to divide the people among the ones coming out of the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's going to continue because that's what religion was designed to do. It was designed to divide people into groups for the purpose of enslavement by the government. The government wants their slaves. Religion helps them do that. To the extent that a person is awake to that, it's the extent that they invest themselves in that. Personally, we, for our part, we connect ourselves with people. And frankly, I'm finding that any religion
is a snare and a racket.
Yeah, and you have to go back to the original statement by Rutherford. He was the only person telling the truth. And he red-pilled everybody, but we didn't listen. Religion is a snare and a racket. And I'll finish by saying snares are designed to trick someone who's looking for food to become food for the person who set the snare. And we're here to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. That was a great show. Now, when Shauna and I set this platform up, we meant it. We set this up for you guys, not for us. You guys, I make videos every day. You guys are almost sick of me, but I appreciate hearing all of you guys come on and telling your stories. Like, quite honestly, these are hard things to talk about. All of these in our past, all of these things that we're going through, we're still going through it. A lot of our minds are open. These wounds are still raw. You see, they don't get closed up until Watchtower starts fixing things. And I think the shunning is a big one. Now, I wanted to bring up this screen that these guys brought up. What happened to decency? You know why they're doing this? Because they're not a decent religion. So this is a sidetrack. Big corporations do this. They throw out the sidetracks. I'm gonna just silence a few people there. There we go.
Right.
So I just silenced everyone, so you guys should all be okay. You can turn your mics on if you come up to bat here again. Now, when I look at this, I'm just gonna move myself. And now I have to re-mirror, I think. Okay, when I look at this here screen shot, they're not a decent organization. So what do? They question everyone else's decency. They're giving us misinformation. So what are they doing? They're showing videos on misinformation. This is one of the secrets of this organization. They're throwing out there everything that we should not look at them for, but they're doing. Now, I don't think they have I don't think they should be into teens and children and any of this stuff, because they don't want to apologize. In the New Zealand Commission, they said we don't look after children. Then my question is, why all the videos on children? Why get these children to obey, listen? Why are we putting children in the ministry? That's child abuse. I come down here, declare the good news, watch this video. Well, I think they're a little bit late on this. Everyone else has been Christian for decades, for 2,000 years. Are they now Christian? I watched all these videos, and then this little thing, giving makes you happy. So they want the little kids to give their ice cream money to this organization. And this is what they're doing because they need it. They need all the next generation paying for all these legal bills. The legal bills are huge. They're going to be huger. Never give up hope when suffering. Well, they kick and disfellowship out. So yeah, you throw one of these videos out and it makes it look like you're a good guy. So no one's looking at you for all the shunning and disfellowshipping you're doing. And who gives them the right to talk about owl's wings? They just copy other people's stuff. They put up a lot of this crap and say, well, Jehovah made all this wonderful design. I'm just so tired of this organization's website. I can't wait until I don't have to look at it no more. And then this assembly stuff. I went through all these assembly videos. And yeah, they're getting people geared up. They know that they're being looked at in all these lands, losing their charity status, because guess what? They're not Christian. They're not a Christian organization. This is damage control. They've never in all the years I've been in that organization made their assemblies anything but about Jehovah. It was all about Jehovah. They'd have a little bit of Jesus in there at the memorial, but that's very little. And they really don't want you to get to know Jesus, because then you'll get to realize you should be going to heaven. You should be taking the emblems. I looked at all these videos. It's nice that they can have all these big assemblies and stuff like that. But hey, there's a lot of problems in this organization to clean up. And before they come onto our sites and say, ExJWs, please come back. Shunning. This is the biggest. And if the JWs are on site, I don't want to use the word cult too much, but that's how we look at it now. We look at it like they're a cult. And because it fits the criteria of the cult, because of shunning. Now you say shunning's in the Bible. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Hutterites shun, Mennonites shun, Amish shun. Their Catholics have a certain amount of, there's a certain amount of shunning. Everyone shuns. But that's the point. It's a personal decision. Shunning is personal. It's not organizational. When it becomes organizational, it becomes breaking of the human rights. It's discriminatory. And this is what we're doing. We're going across Canada. We will be talking about this. They lied in the Supreme Court in Canada about shunning. That has to be fixed in our court. Our court system believes that shunning is like the Hutterites and the Mennonites, but it's not. It's this part of the reason that we have all the problems. We have suicides. We have all of these problems in this religion because of shunning. So when I look at their website, it's damage control. That's what it is. Nothing more, nothing less than damage control. And I think with those notes, here's what I want to say to everyone tonight. You guys have been really brave. We weren't sure if we're going to run this program too long. But here's what I want to say to all you guys out there tonight, and all you guys online putting your comments in. Here it is, just for you guys. Okay. Okay, anybody have closing comments? You have one last chance, and then we're going to close the showdown. Anybody?
I do, Vern, if you'll permit me.
Okay. Okay, who are we?
Yeah, it's San Diego Pimo.
There we go. Go ahead.
You know what? I'm no General George S. Patton here in the United States, but I can be. I just want to let everybody know in the ExJW community and those who are Pimos like me wanting to come out, I have your back 100%. If you would need a big brother, and I don't care whether you're older or younger than me, I have your back 100%. So I've already connected with one of our one of my local sisters, and I'm just going to call her that. I'm not going to give two hoots in hell what people think, but you know what? I'll definitely help you out in any way, shape, or form that I can. Stephanie is a good woman. The Empowered Minds, all the groups. Come on this live chat. Don't be afraid. Don't worry about it. Keep your screen blank like the way that mine has. Put a decoy photo like the way I do have right now. But just come out, express yourself. If you want to come out here and you want to join on a meetup or anything like that, just do so. Give it an opportunity. I mean, don't listen to all this crap that the organization's feeding you about this other community out there. Just give it the benefit of the doubt. And if you don't like it, just fine. Then just walk away. No one's going to shun you. No one's going to hold it against you one way or another.
Well said, San Diego. Well said. Thank you.
I also wanted to let the JW, if they're still watching, I don't know, but maybe in the future, if anybody's watching this, this is one of the best arguments that I can make, is that I was born into this religion. I didn't have a choice. I was brought up to believe that what was being said every week was the actual truth. I wasn't able to study anything that wasn't Watchtower publications. I wasn't able to learn anything outside of the Watchtower. And that's what thousands of other kids are in that same position. They are not allowed to learn anything else. So, how can they form an opinion about what they believe in if they don't know anything else? I was very shielded, very isolated, and I just thought that this was the truth, that I was lucky enough to be born in the truth. But when you grow up and you start learning things and you want to form your own opinions, you're demonized for that. That's the only problem that I have with the Jehovah's Witness. I wasn't allowed to do my own research, to form my own opinions without the fear of being shunned, losing my family, getting kicked out, being homeless, just for forming my own opinions. And so that's the kind of freedom that needs to be given back to these, JWs. They need to know that it's okay to do research and to make your own decisions. And you have to critically think. It's not like you have to. If you want to survive in the world, you have to. You can't just go with whatever somebody says and just take their word for it. You have to do your own research. And if you do make the decision that you don't want to be a witness anymore, that is your right. That is your freedom of religion in the United States, at least, to have the freedom to believe in whatever you want to believe in and go to whatever church you want to go to, and you shouldn't be persecuted for that. And so, if you don't want to serve Jehovah, then don't serve Jehovah. Do your own thing, go your own way until you find what's best for you. Because the Jehovah's Witnesses say it themselves. If you are going to the meetings and going out in service and doing all of these like outward spiritual things just for the show of it, you're serving Jehovah in vain. And that's what I told my mother. I'm not going to serve God in vain. If this is not what's in my heart, I'm not going to do it. And it took 5 years to reevaluate whether or not I want to be Christian. I don't know. I'm still inquiring, but at least I have the freedom to do that. Unfortunately, everybody else left my side. They shunned me. They threw me away because of that. And that is what Jehovah's Witnesses have to change if they really want to be Christians, real Christians. You cannot shun somebody for exercising their freedom of religion. So it goes deeper than beliefs. It goes deeper than the Bible. It goes deeper. Jehovah's Witnesses have super, super major issues that violate our basic human rights. And you just have to wake up to that. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ruby. Great. Nicely said. So anybody else have anything? Anybody else?
I just wanted to thank you for the work that you do, Fixing the Faith, the videos. I've been very encouraged by them, and a lot of good stuff bringing this forward. It's getting that information out. So everybody plays a part in this, and it's good job. Just thumbs up. And this is the first time I've come on this particular format to be able to share and speak. But thank you. It's a privilege.
Well, I think I got my screen. Okay, here I am. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for commenting and sharing your stories. These are hard stories to share. Some of these stories are very difficult. All of these stories are difficult, and they all affect us in different ways. And it's difficult, but it is good to talk. It's like a healing in itself, just talking, and then knowing that you have a community. And so that's what we have. Joe and Fran, they're online here. They're a big part of the community, and they're building the meetups and so forth. And we're looking for help, volunteers, anybody that wants to help, get involved. This is going to happen all over the earth. I believe in all the countries. We're talking to someone from South Africa right now, an apostate who just started up, and we might have him on the channel as well. But this is a domino effect, friends. If all of you guys don't realize what you've been doing for the last how many years, you've been in training. You've been in training for what we're dealing with right now, because there's going to be a mass exodus, I believe, sooner than later. They're coming on our lines. They want to know what they should do next. They should just get rid of their elders book, get out of people's medical business. It's conscientious. Get out of people's bedrooms. That's conscientious. And just go there on site, be a printing company like they want to be. Just be a printing company, publishing company, a movie company, whatever they want. And leave these little congregations alone. Give the property back to the local community. They stole it off them. They stole it out of the countries. Japan's not letting that happen. Even though Watchtower owns the property in New York, they're not letting New York cash it in until they pay the victims out in Japan. And I think this is what's going to happen all over the earth. We're going to have the victims will be paid out. You want to talk about a Holocaust? Yeah, that's what the ExJWs are dealing with. It's like going through a Holocaust. It's like it's solitary confinement. It's bad. It's affected all of us in a way. But here, Jehovah's Witnesses, they're going out and grabbing all that Holocaust money, and they want to be the victims. You see, the world's catching on to this. Judge Waters in Montana, she knows what's going on. And I can't wait until those two ladies get this to court this summer. Let's see what happens in Montana. So we'll be reporting on all of this stuff, folks. We invite everyone online to keep up with the channel. But if JW.org wants to know what to do next, get rid of their darn elders book. Throw it out, burn it, destroy it, and start over with a book about love, a book about family. That's what it's about. It's about love. It's about family. But I don't think that's going to happen, and that's why we have to continue on with what we're doing. And all of us collectively working together, we are forming a lifeboat for all the ExJWs that want to leave. We're going to make it easier and easier for them to leave, because we will have a community on the outside. And once they leave, once they unlock themselves from the indoctrination, they will see that there's a whole new world. And here's what it's like, folks. Here's my closing remarks right here. This is what getting out gives you. It's a whole different feeling. It's right here. Oh, remember, live your life with love. See you later.
Can I make a comment?